Hello and welcome to Ode to Games. I'm Kevin Vallene, joined alongside Zach Rost. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good, Kevin.
That's good. How you doing, Logan? We've also got Logan Plant here.
Oh, a little reverse intro right there. Hi,
Yeah,
Kevin.
trying to throw you off a little bit. You've been playing some
It
Mario Party
works.
Superstars. It just came
I
out.
have. I've played a lot.
Mario Party, the series, has been meandering for the last number of years. The more recent one on Switch was pretty decent, but it sounds like Mario Party Superstars is kind of a return to form. What are your thoughts after playing it for a good number of hours?
It's fantastic. Yeah, it is. It is might be my favorite Mario Party. At the very least, it's the best Mario Party since Mario Party 7, which was the last one on the GameCube. And gosh, 2006? Like a very long time
So,
ago at this point.
15 years?
Yeah,
Decade
so
and
the
a
best
half?
Mario Party's been in 15 years. Yeah, it's really great. And the reason it's so great is because it's just old Mario Party. Five old boards, 100 old mini games, and yeah, I love how faithfully they're recreated. Um, they even remade every song for every mini game because like every mini game has its own theme, and they just redid it all. So it's extremely nostalgic, especially from a soundtrack perspective. The game looks great. It just looks. I really like the art style of it because I don't know. It feels a little more detailed than I feel like how bland some of the Mario spin-offs have been lately. Like it looks really nice. The boards are fun. A lot of the stuff is back. There's classic rule sets. So like this is a little in the weeds, but like Mario Party devolved largely. The start of its de-evolution was because it took out a lot of skill elements and just started putting in even more luck than was already there. An example of that is like the bonus stars at the end of the game. By the time Mario Party 8 rolled around, it was like, "Oh, you landed on the most red spaces. Here's a star." And it's just awful because it's just pure luck. "Oh, you spent the most at the store. Here's a star." Just didn't make any sense. So one thing I love here is there is an option for those random stars at the end of the game, but there's also an option for the classic bonus stars, which is just who got the most coins, who won the most mini games, and who landed on the most happening spaces. And so you can really plan your strategy around those three things, which is really nice. Or if you want it to be more random, you can turn off classic bonus stars and have random bonus stars, or you can just turn them off altogether. There's other really cool options like number of turns. Super Mario Party, one of my biggest hangups with it was you could only play 10 turns. So the games were super short. But here you can play 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 turn games. You can add turns during a game, which is a
Oh.
first for the series. Which
I'm
is
not
really
winning.
weird.
Gotta add some more turns.
Yeah, you can't do it on the final turn. But you can
Okay.
do it on every other turn.
Wow.
So that's really interesting. Um, and one thing I love is that what I believe is a first for the series, you can quit games and come back to them later. And there are save slots for up to 10 games.
That's
And it
nice.
auto saves after every turn. So what's fantastic is if you're playing online and you get a disconnect, it's not gone forever like it would have been in Super Mario Party. You can come back and pick up from that turn. So I think that's really great. Yeah, there's just a lot I really like about it.
Yeah, it's nice to have options for that. I feel like sometimes with Nintendo games, like obviously Smash has a bunch of options, but like I don't know, you look at things like Mario Kart, for example, and sometimes it leaves something to be desired on how much you can customize,
Yeah.
like custom sets of races when you're playing multiplayer. So it's nice to see them kind of embracing the ability to really customize your playstyle for what you want, especially for a game that takes so much from the old. If you want to have the new playstyle or the old.
Yeah, and they have mini games. Not so the boards are only from the N64 games, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, but the mini games are from Mario Party 1 through 10. So they have some mini games from all eras. And when you're setting up your game, you can pick just N64 games, just GameCube games, games based on skill, games that the whole family will love, so easier games. So you can pick what set of mini games will be there to pull from. So yeah, it's super customizable. It's really great, and I've played most of the games I've played have been online, and it's been maybe the best Nintendo online experience I've ever had, which is crazy. Like it's been super easy to set up games. I have not had any disconnects, and if we did, like I said, there's that backup system in place so you don't lose your game. There's been no lag in the mini game. Like it has felt like we're sitting right next to each other on the couch. Like the online is amazing. which is great because I heard in Super Mario Party it was terrible. So it's really good that they maybe tested some things out in that game and figured it out for this one.
That NSO expansion, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Are there any minigame options for the Wii family of games?
No, because Mario Party 8 and 9, there's only like 5 games from each of those. There's barely any from 8, 9, and 10.
Pick those and it's just like, hey, it's the same game again.
I love that there's no motion controls. Super Mario Party, if you remember, you can only play with a single Joy-Con, but now you can just play with a Pro Controller and there's no motion. So that's really nice. I think the only hang-up I have is that there's too many lucky spaces on the board, which aren't in the originals. It's a newer thing where you just like land on a space and like, oh, here's 20 coins. You like spin a wheel and you get coins or items or something else. And I would have liked to see more Bowser spaces, more chance time spaces, if you remember, which is where stuff can radically change. More battle spaces. So I would have liked to see more of that then, because there's like 10 lucky spaces on every board. But that's a pretty minor complaint. Also, they did my boy Boo dirty. The only playable characters are like the main Mario characters. There's no like enemies or toads or anything.
Dang.
Would you call Birdo a main Mario character?
Yeah, I would.
All right. Not anymore. I feel like she's been shafted.
She's on the fringe.
Yeah, exactly.
No one really remembers it too much.
It's her and Boo.
And then my only other complaint is that the Mario brand in general, the spin-off brands, have gotten much more sterile than they used to be. We talked about this with Paper Mario, that they don't have the creative side characters they used to have. And the Mario Party games in the past had like these really weirdly shaped toads that would like run the store or run like the options menu even, or sell the stars. But now it's just generic Toadette sells the stars. There's a generic yellow Toad that runs the item shop. Like they just stripped out all the original characters from the Mario Party games and replaced them with the cookie cutter standard, which is expected. That's how they roll now. But I do miss some of the character that was in some of the older Mario stuff.
Yeah, it's been that way for a lot of the spin-offs, whether it's Paper Mario or a lot of the sports titles. There's something about them where it is a little bit more safe and not as creative, but seems to be a minor thing.
Yeah. Zach, you played it too with me.
I did play it. So is there any new boards or any new games, or is everything taken from older titles?
It's just an all-star collection. There's 2 boards from Mario Party, 2 from Mario Party 2, 1 board from Mario Party 3, and then 100 mini games, which I think is the most there's ever been, as well as the top 100, which only had mini games. Sure. But yeah, and those are just spread from 1 through 10, which actually, I'm glad you asked that, because it brings me to one of the weirdest things about this game, is that they only act like Mario Party 1 through 10 exist. There are no mentions of the DS one, the GBA one, the 3DS ones, or Super Mario Party, the last one. For example, there's this encyclopedia, and you can like buy pages for it with the coins you earn, and it's just like a completionist thing. Fill out your encyclopedia. So you buy the page for like Waluigi, and there's a little grid that tells you every Mario Party game he's appeared in. But the only options on the grid are Mario Party 1 through 10. And it's just like, man, this same team literally just made Super Mario Party, and there's no mention of it in this entire game. There's even a point in the game where Birdo says, this is the 11th party. Can you believe it? I'm like, no, it's like the 17th party. Yeah, 7 of them were bad, and you probably wanted to forget them. But yeah, it's just crazy to me that they're only acting like the numbered ones exist.
At the very least, wouldn't Super Mario Party be the 11th?
Yeah, because it's more. It's way more of a Mario Party than 9 or 10 car. Like, it makes no sense.
Like, I can kind of really understand it if you just are ignoring the handheld games, if that's the way you're rolling. But it's a little weird if you're completely ignoring Super Mario Party, which is very much a part of the main series, as much as Superstars would be. Yeah, so that's bizarre to me. But yeah, it is a cool museum of those Mario Party games. I think the coolest detail in the whole game is, there's a little victory theme after you win every minigame in Mario Party. And in Superstars, depending on which game the minigame you just won is from, they play the victory theme from that Mario Party. So win a game that was originally in Mario Party 3, you hear the victory theme from Mario Party 3. And it's just a super cool minor detail that it's like,
they put a lot of effort into this thing. When this series has kind of become the poster child for low effort releases in the last decade and a half. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
And the boards are good. That's been the sticking point for
Yeah.
a number of.
I think the boards are great,
years. Yeah.
even from a non-nostalgia standpoint, where I haven't played barely any of the Mario parties in the past. I find these boards way more enjoyable than the boards that were in Super Mario Party, which is a game I did not crazy enjoy. But yeah, I did play a couple of games with this with Logan. Once as Birdo, once as Waluigi, so I got all my characters in there. But yeah, I thought it was a really good time, especially the mini games. I like that they're not all, Joy-Con dependent. That I could just use a Pro controller and do my button mashing mini games, which is what I'm best at. So there's plenty in there for me. And like Logan said, I like that it's a lot more skill based because the luck based stuff is so gosh dang frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, it's great. I absolutely recommend it. If you enjoyed Super Mario Party at all, this is just so much better than. Like it is. It's
Yep.
really great. Yeah, I definitely recommend it, Kev. The boards are they're fantastic. My favorite one is the what's it called? Spaceland, I think, and it has like the giant Bowser cannon in the top right. That every there's this big number in the middle. It starts at 5. Every time someone passes it, it counts down by 1. And then once it hits 0, anyone caught on that gold strip that lines up with the Bowser cannon loses all their coins. So there's some brutal stuff in this. Like Mario Party games have become so handholdy and luck-based and random and nice. They've lost their edge. The original ones were brutal. And like I said, there's a lot of lucky stuff like that in this one. But there's still the brutal stuff. They brought it back. And it's the first time Mario Party has had any brutal elements in a really long time.
I'm curious. I'd like to ask, where do you see the series going from here? The first like truly solid game in 15 years. Do you think they go and do a remake of sorts with some of the GameCube boards, and then from there you're on your own, make new games after that, or I'm curious what you think they're gonna do next.
I don't think they can do a sequel, a GameCube remake, because they already have all the best GameCube games in here, like mini game wise. So I think if they're going to remake GameCube boards, it's got to be DLC. But Super Mario Party bafflingly got 0 DLC. So I don't know if they're going to do that. But that would be my hope, is GameCube boards DLC, just maybe 3 boards, 1 from 4, 1 from 6, 1 from 7. The boards in 5 aren't very good. So I would hope DLC for GameCube boards, and then
Maybe
take what they learned remaking these and make a new that's like this one. So that's my hope.
Because like it's great that it's back, but it's also like it's all the old ideas, and it doesn't necessarily give you a ton of hope that whatever comes next will be good if it's all new ideas. But at the very least, you have this to fall back on if whatever comes later isn't as good.
And if the next one is like Super Mario Party 2, sure, that's fine. Because Super Mario Party was good. I would have happily bought a sequel to it, but I'm much happier with this.
All right.
Just so nostalgic. I've played so much of every Mario Party. Like it's crazy. Like I don't think I realized how much nostalgia I had for the series until I started playing this one. It's like I never talk about Mario Party like on here. It's like, man, I've played this series to death. So yeah, this one's really good.
It's the best minigame in the collection. What's the worst minigame?
Ooh, the best minigame, Facelift. Did you ever play Facelift?
Which one? Describe it to me.
It's the one where there's a Bowser face in the middle, and it like contorts itself.
Oh, and you gotta like
into
drag
a really weird
to...
way. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have like 30 seconds to move his eyebrows, cheeks, mouth, and nose to match the picture in the middle. I think that's the best Mario game, and it's in there. And the worst game, it's this 1v3 one. The 1v3 ones are always pretty bad.
The balancing seems to not be very good on those a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the 1v3 where there's one person on a skateboard and they're skateboarding away from PD Piranha, and the 3 people are just ground pounding on the cloud
I've seen videos
above
of that,
PD Piranha. And it doesn't matter what the 3 people do. It's all on the one person to survive or not. So the 3 people just sit there for like 30 seconds just mashing A over and over to pound, and it's meaningless. So that's the worst game.
So
But
if you just
yeah,
got
they're
enough
mostly
skill
good.
as the one player, you can just
Yep.
win every time.
There's a few that I wish were in there that aren't. Hotel Goomba. I don't know if you guys ever have heard of that one, but that's an outstanding minigame that's not here. There's a couple others that are really good that aren't in here, but largely what's here is really good.
Nice. You'll have to think about picking
Yeah.
it up. I didn't play much of the Mario Party games for the N64 or GameCube. My first real one was 8, which I had a good time with at the time. I think it's still got some good games and boards in it. But then after that, it was nothing until Super. So it'd be nice to experience some of these old boards and minigames that I really haven't played too much.
Yeah, and I was disappointed with 8 at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, that is so much better than anything that
I
came
mean, it
after.
still had some pretty like intricate boards. The minigames are hit and miss
Yeah.
depending on motion controls, obviously.
Yeah.
But I thought the boards in that game, they had some really creative ideas in there. But yeah, it'd be nice to go back and experience some of these boards and mini games that I never got the chance to play back in the day.
I just continue to appreciate the Switch because I now think it has the best Smash, the best Mario Kart, and the best Mario Party. And that's just kind of crazy.
Best
The
Metroid.
same system has. Yeah, best Metroid, best Mario. What people say is the best Zelda. Yeah.
Switch library is
Kind
pretty
of
crazy.
unreal.
It is.
The best Mario Tennis.
Believe it.
No
Maybe.
Mario Baseball. It's missing some key titles, but it's got time. It's still got a little while longer before the end. Maybe we'll get some of them.
Yep. Oh, Mario Baseball would be so good.
I'd lose my mind if they
Me
brought
too.
that back. And then I'd be like, man, is this going to be like crap? like the rest of the recent Mario sports games? Like, I don't actually have faith that they get it.
If
but-
it's the same quality as the golf and the tennis on Switch, I won't have a problem. I will still buy it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You need to do a new sports mix with
Oh,
just like 4
do they?
less important sports, like soccer,
Horse racing,
baseball,
did.
curling,
basketball,
and
volleyball.
like
There was a sports
Curling.
mix on the Wii, wasn't there? I remember playing.
croquet.
And then Sports Superstars on 3DS. Wait, is that the subtitle? Is it Superstars? Like Mario Party Superstars?
I have no
I
idea.
think
I did
it's-
not play that one.
I'm pretty sure it's Mario Sports Superstars.
Man, did Nintendo have to check with Nintendo if that was okay to name that?
It is Mario Sports Superstars. This is Mario Party Superstars is much better than Mario
Mario
Sports
Sports.
Superstars.
Good to know. When I'm at the store and I've got 2 of them in my hands, get kind of confused as to which game to pick since they're both titled the same. I'll know which one to pick up.
I'm just glad they respected Birdo enough. Put Birdo in this game.
Miss Birdo.
Yeah.
Kind of forget about.
I
Birdo
still can't
sometimes.
believe Birdo's not in Mario Kart 8. I have no idea how that
But we
happened.
got all the Koopalings.
Well, the more egregious one is you got baby Rosalina and
What,
pink, Gold Peach,
pink gold,
but no Birdo.
pink gold peach is
Like, what?
probably the stupidest one. It's like, why do you need it pink
Yeah.
and gold? What is the?
And then
Point
the
of any of
DLC
that.
was like Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach. Where's Birdo, bro? Where is
Yeah.
Birdo? Yeah. There were 3 opportunities for them to add 4. The original roster, DLC Pack 1, DLC Pack 2, and Deluxe. And they didn't get Birdo in there.
Sorry,
It's just
Birdo.
unbelievable.
Not good enough.
And Diddy.
Rip Diddy Kong.
Yeah,
Speaking
Diddy is
of
not
Diddy
in
Kong,
this game at all.
do you want to get into the news here? There's news
Yeah.
surrounding the DK
Oh, there is
crew.
Diddy Kong news.
Not specifically
Yeah,
Diddy
so-
Kong, but you would assume.
There's a rumor that a solo Donkey Kong is in development with Seth Rogen set to play Donkey Kong, he is playing DK in the Mario movie from Illumination. This movie is apparently also from
Oh
Illumination.
God.
Yeah, not confirmed yet, but it's coming from a source that apparently has accurately leaked a number of recent movie related things, so it's probably legit. But I'll just say my piece. Seth Rogen, I thought was the best casting
It kind
of that
is.
entire group. So I'm super excited actually for this. Want to hear what
Out
you
of
guys
that
think.
original casting, I think him and Charlie Day are probably the top 2 for
Yeah.
me. The rest of
Charlie
them are,
Day, Luigi.
yeah, I get that one.
Questionable.
The rest of them are a little weird, but yeah, I mean, it just makes me think of like if you've got Mario getting his own movie and now you've got Donkey Kong possibly getting his own movie, like where
A
How
Zelda
much of a
movie.
door does that open for like any other series to get it if they're really deciding
Yeah.
to kind of, broaden the scope? It's not just Mario himself. I mean, it's Mario characters at this point. Like, they haven't gone beyond that, but it seems like they'd be a lot more open to doing more properties and more movies.
I think that at this point we can safely assume that Nintendo considers Donkey Kong its second best franchise of all time because they're also doing what Donkey Kong Land attached to
park?
Mario
Yeah.
Land.
What was it,
Yeah,
the second
so,
biggest?
yeah.
Yeah, second,
Oh,
the biggest DK park in the
okay,
world.
yeah, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed. Yeah, it's a guess.
Maybe they'll try and
Yeah.
coincide that with the theme park. I don't know.
It's really interesting because we talked about this the same time that the DK park was announced, in that whenever Nintendo has a press release, it's like Nintendo is the creator of Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, and then they go into the rest of them, and it's like, man, Donkey Kong's still in there.
I mean, I guess
he
he's
barely gets any games.
got so much history. That's probably why, huh? 'Cause
Yeah.
he's got that
Yeah,
name recognition
absolutely.
from the '80s on. But
Yeah, he's still so recognizable to people outside of the hardcore gaming sphere. Where, like, yeah, more people probably recognize DK than Link, which is crazy, I think, for us to think. Like, man, but yeah, DK is that recognizable. But I'm excited about this because I am worried that the Mario movie, just like Mario Party, could be a little bit bland. Like, I don't know how far they're willing to push Mario, but I've always felt like the DK series, Donkey Kong Country, has a ton of personality. And like Tropical Freeze is a gorgeous game that has a ton of like attitude and really cool enemy design. And King K. Rool is awesome. Like, if he was in a movie, that would be so cool. So yeah, this actually, I might be more excited for this project, the Chris Pratt Mario movie.
wonder
Where
what
they got-
role
who's
Chris
gonna get
Pratt's getting
cast?
in this movie.
Oh my God, he's
Diddy.
gonna be King K. Rool. Oh,
Who would you guys cast as Diddy Kong?
Oh God, who is a good Diddy Kong?
I know,
I have no idea.
like a smaller Seth Rogen.
Does Seth Rogen have a son?
That's what I'm thinking about.
Seth Rogen Jr.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. Oh my God.
I
don't
have
know,
an
it's
idea,
like-
but I'm totally.
I think with the DK series, because I mean, I guess Mario is kind of similar to that, but it's like, yeah, there's not a whole lot of like story to go off of. So I'm trying to think of like the character.
How about Andy Samberg as Diddy Kong?
Oh, there you go. That's actually Seth Rogen, but smaller.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It could be like a buddy comedy with Seth Rogen and Andy Samberg as Donkey Kong and
That'd
Diddy
be
Kong.
wild.
I would watch that. Yeah. When's Birdo getting her own movie?
Next
Not
in
for
line.
a while.
Next.
I don't know.
movie.
Maybe Yoshi would be next in line. Wait, is there a Yoshi in the Mario movie?
Not
Yeah,
confirmed.
that was
I don't
voiced.
think. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's
Does
surprising.
Yoshi speak?
I mean, like,
in his
there's
name?
is very much a possibility that he's in there
Yeah.
in some
Yeah,
capacity.
well, no one really speaks, but yeah, Yoshi can talk.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Yoshi. I could see Yoshi being next. I wonder if these are going to be connected.
Is
the
there going to
DK
be a
in the
Mario
Mario movie.
cinematic universe?
Absolutely. We've
the
already
Sonic
got
movie.
2 movies confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there's gonna be the crossover Mario versus Sonic movie.
At the
At
Olympic
the
Games.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Smash
see.
Bros. movie. Master Hand is the big bad.
Yeah. How far are they going to go? How many
Don't
how
know.
many
I think
movies are
it-
they going to make?
It really depends on the reception of these. Because after
Yeah.
the last Mario movie, Nintendo pulled out of movies for like 20 years.
Yeah. Part of me is kind of surprised that they didn't allow this movie to come out and see how it would go, that they're already doubling down with the second movie. But maybe they already had Seth
Yeah.
Rogen in there and they're like, well, we want to get him in there now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they would be gung-ho about a second movie already. The first one not even out yet.
Yeah. What, it's coming out the end of next year, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think it was December 2022.
Yeah. So
And
another
big
or
year
so.
for movies next year. Uncharted, Sonic 2, and Mario. That's a lot.
What? Wow. Never thought I'd see a year where that would happen.
No. No way. Yeah, but that'll be interesting to look forward to. We still haven't even seen like the art for this Mario movie. We don't know what it looks like
As long as it doesn't look like the
Or what?
original Sonic movie.
or what Chris Pratt's gonna sound like
All right, yeah.
as Mario and Garfield now. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, what? All the memes,
Man's
Chris
on a
Pratt
roll.
voicing everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite tweet was like, imagine being Chris Pratt during the Mario reception when he was the only one that knew he was also going to be announced as
It's
like a
gotcha.
month later. Yeah.
What a weird timeline this is.
Yep. Chris Pratt as Mario.
And Garfield.
And Andy Samberg as Diddy Kong.
If that comes true, which I can
Yeah.
absolutely see it coming true, I'm going to give you a lot of praise
We got
for
to
that
earmark
guy.
this
Thank you.
episode for the future if it actually happens.
Yes. I'll put it in the title so we don't forget. All right, let's move on to some Smash Bros. News. Sakurai recently did an interview with too, where he said he can't really imagine Smash Bros. Continuing development without him. And he said that there was a bunch of translations, but at one point he made it sound like at some point Nintendo tried to make Smash without him and it didn't go well. I'm really curious about what that story.
Yeah, what
Like,
era was that?
was it a mode? Like, was he hands off for just part of a project? Like, we have no idea. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and it's not Smash 4 because it was announced before it was in development, and he was attached to it. It's not Ultimate because that started right after Smash 4.
Yeah.
So it's like, did Brawl start
Brawl, maybe?
without him? Yeah, it's super weird. But yeah, he also said that he can't confirm that Ultimate is the last one. He's not thinking about a sequel, and that Nintendo and him haven't talked about it. But, oh, I don't know. He also said at some point, I think in last week's interview, that he and Nintendo would have to have a serious conversation about how to make a new Smash successful and create a product that wouldn't just disappoint everybody. And yeah, I don't really know what the series does from here, or if it does continue. But yeah, what do you think of Sakurai saying he doesn't think continue without him, and that they don't know if this is the end for the series or not?
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, he's been the face of the series since its inception, and I feel like he was even more front and center with this one, especially with the videos for all the DLC fighters and him showing it off. Like, he became a lot more intertwined with the series. I feel like, you know, like he was obviously there for the other games and you knew who he was, but I feel like he became a much more central figure a little bit more recently. But at the same time, I also have a hard time imagining that Nintendo would just abandon it like that. Like, if Sakurai is like, I'm done. Like, I don't, like, besides like maybe an advisory role, like I'm not interested in making any more games. I can't imagine Nintendo just be like, okay, and then not make another one.
Giving up such a successful property.
Yeah, it's one of their tentpole releases. You know, that'd be like if someone was designing the Mario Kart games and then it's just like, well, I'm done with Mario Kart, and then they just end it. Like, they wouldn't do that, right? I feel like the most likely scenario would be that at some point Sakurai is going to be done, whether it's this game, whether it's the next one, or whatever. Like, he'll be done at some point, and then at that point they'd have to discuss like how to move forward, and I'm sure that he would play a pretty big role in that, and maybe what he'd do is he'd be there for part of that next game's development to try and like hand the torch per se, and try and like help these new people along that would take over the series. But
that's what it's got to be.
Ending.
Yeah, because we've got like Aonuma for Zelda was a director for a long time, but now he's more of a producer and supervisor of the series. And Sakurai has only ever been the director for Smash Bros. So yeah, I know that he loves to do things his own way, and that it's very much his project. But I think he has to be comfortable with, like you said, shifting into a producer role for the next game to get people trained up. Like, I think we talked about this when Sora came out. Like, Mario, Miyamoto doesn't make that anymore. The Zelda people are all new. Like, there is a changing of the guard within Nintendo, except for Smash Bros. And it's like, it's got to happen. But then I look at something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's like, if they just put Ultimate on the next console with like 5 new stages and 5 new characters, would it not sell another 20 million copies? I don't know.
But it's like, how long would you want to do that? Like, that probably wouldn't be a good idea for future proofing. Like, I'm sure they could pull it off for the next console, but after that, what are you gonna do? I think it'd be a much safer bet to have another game and to try and pass the torch then, so that you know that the future is in hopefully good hands.
And I don't know about Smash fans are pretty insatiable, But personally speaking, I completely understand if the next game has half as many characters as this one. Like, I don't think Ultimate can ever be replicated. I don't think it ever needs to be. I think it's okay if maybe they focus more on a single player campaign or other features that make it stand apart from Ultimate instead of just trying to outdo themselves again from a roster perspective. Like, Ultimate will probably be the biggest roster Smash ever sees. And I'm okay with that. The game will always be there. It will always exist. So if the series continues on and kind of takes a different direction, I'm totally cool with that. As long as it's still good.
I wonder what the reaction to that would be. Because you saw something somewhat similar when Sword and Shield came out and have the Pokedex. Like, obviously it's not the same thing, but
yeah,
it is similar in the sense that Pokemon was the same way as Smash is, where that roster has grown so big that it's almost impossible to get it all in there. Mm-hmm. And people lost their minds for that. So yeah, what does happen with the next one where you're just like, we can't do it? And it gets even more confusing when you have, at least with Pokemon, all the Pokemon are part of the Pokemon Company. Like, that is all them. But here you've got a bunch of third-party characters, and you're working with all these different companies to get certain characters in. That becomes an even bigger headache if you're trying to bring the entire roster over, or a good majority of it, to the next game.
Yeah, and there's always cut characters, except for Ultimate, where everyone was here. There's always been cuts in Smash. And I think a big difference with Pokemon is that Pokemon is an annual release that people were already ticked wasn't innovating enough. And so to have Sword and Shield, which visually did not look good, and then cut content like this, I think that was a step too far. Where if the next Smash game is still an incredibly content-filled, polished, runs well, nice-looking game with like 20 less characters, yeah, some people would probably be mad, but I don't think it would be the outrage of Sword and Shield. And I think another difference is like the no migration thing. People who invested hundreds of hours in developing these Pokemon that then were left behind. I don't know if that's quite the same. I guess it is similar if like someone's main gets cut, like someone you spent hours getting good playing as is gone. But I don't know if the outrage would be the same. Zach, you have anything to add on this?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat to where if they did, follow up Smash Ultimate, I think Smash Ultimate's big gimmick is the size of its roster. So I think following it up a smaller roster with a new game, a smaller roster would be fine as long as they changed up a bunch of different stuff to really differentiate it from Ultimate. Maybe not focus so much on the roster this time. But yeah, Ultimate's not perfect. There's improvements that can be made, like the online options are terrible. It's very minimalistic, but that might just be because Nintendo Switch Online wasn't great when it came out, so it couldn't really focus on that. So as long as there's, additions of new modes, more online support, just better features, I don't really care if some characters get cut. Because Ultimate's big focus was the massive roster, and that's great for it. But yeah, I think that maybe some other stuff should be focused on in the future, even if Sakurai isn't around in a directorial standpoint. But I'm sure he'll supervise and do a passing of the torch for a little while, and I can see maybe, like we were talking about, Ultimate getting a deluxe version with maybe like 4 more characters to finish off the neat square box of characters, and then maybe a few more stages. But that's about it.
A deluxe version that includes all the characters on cart,
with
or
the DLC,
part of one package.
Yes,
absolutely.
Hope that they do something like that.
I don't see a new Smash happening anytime soon. So they might Mario Kart
for a while.
Mario Kart this one, yeah.
Here's my dream scenario. I think for the next console, I want a port of Ultimate. I don't know legal issues with port. Like, do you need to get everyone to sign on again if you port this game? Like Disney and Mojang and Microsoft and everyone? I don't know. But I want to see a port with added content. And if Sakurai kind of still works and directs the port with additional content, but takes that opportunity, since it is just a port, to spend more effort training up the next person, and then that person helms the next Smash game, at which point we're talking like 15 years down the line, honestly. Like, it's going to be a long time. So that's what I think would be really nice if they do port Ultimate, add even more to it. Sakurai steps away after that, and then we see where the series goes from there. Because I don't think Sakurai is going to make another full game. He is a madman, so who knows? And I don't think the series would be in good hands if they switch right now to a whole new entry and just hand it off to someone. So I think that's really the best case scenario. Revamp the online in the port also, please.
Good God.
Yeah.
What would be the subtitle for Smash Ultimate port?
Ultimate Deluxe.
Ultimate Deluxe?
Terrible name.
I don't know. Ultimate Championship Edition. I don't know. Something like that.
Just
That's a fighting game name.
Yeah.
Ultimate. Everyone is here again.
Even more
Metaverse.
people are here.
Plus Waluigi.
What about new Super Smash Brothers Ultimate?
Oh, no. Also, I would not be surprised if after Ultimate, they rebrand the series and take off Brothers. Just gonna throw that out there.
Just say Smash.
Smash, yeah.
Yeah, Smash. Would not be surprised.
I mean, it is more known for Smash. Or
yeah,
Smash Bros.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep, that's Smash. No idea what's gonna happen, but what I do know is that Sakurai needs to make a Kid Icarus Uprising 2 on Nintendo Switch. So that's what I hope his next project is. More Nintendo news. It's a Nintendo-filled week. That's my kind of week. Nintendo Switch production is falling 20% for the rest of the year, all the rest of their fiscal year. That's March, because of the chip shortage. So they were supposed to make 30 million units of the Switch. Now they're only making 20. So yeah, I've been just through my work seeing like when Switch OLEDs go in stock, they go out instantly. Like it's as hard to find right now as next gen, which I did not know if that was going to be the case, but it absolutely is.
It doesn't seem to matter what the item is.
As long as it's new. Yeah,
as long as it's new and somewhat desirable, they'll eat it up. But yeah, it is unfortunate that no matter if you're in the market for any new console, whether that is a Switch, whether that is a new PlayStation, or whether that is an Xbox, like it's just going to be a mess no matter which way you go, and that sucks. I was talking with some friends the other day, just like thinking back on when the Switch came out, and I remember the Switch was hard to find, like that first little bit in March, and by the time summer rolled around, I was able to roll up to a store and line up and buy it. And now we're a year into the new consoles. The Switch has been out for a while. Obviously, there's the new model, but it's been out for a while. And you're still running into problems where you can't buy it just if you want to have it, and you can't just go buy it whenever. It's crazy.
Yeah. And the Switch was really hard to find at the start of the pandemic when everyone bought one for Animal Crossing. It was really hard to find then, too. Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, a year in to the PS5, I would not have been mad if they didn't come out until this month. Like, there wasn't anything that huge in the first
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. I didn't play.
And, what?
Returnal?
Deathloop and... Returnal?
And that's...
about it?
Demon Souls?
Demon Souls, yeah.
It's next gen exclusive. But yeah.
Astro's
Yeah,
Playroom.
That game's amazing. Do you guys know anyone who has an OLED?
No.
Oh.
Me neither. I know people like through the internet, like through work and stuff, that have one. But no one that I know personally has one.
Yeah, I feel like all the people that I know that would have a Switch already do. And those people that already have a Switch would not be inclined whatsoever to buy an OLED after they've already bought their regular.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm holding out in case there is a Pro model. But my launch day Switch is really starting to show
What's
its
happening
age.
now?
Just in handheld mode, which I do play in quite a bit. It's just, it gets really hot now. The fan is louder than it used to. And the kickstand doesn't latch into place anymore. It's just floppy back there. Yeah, it's starting to show its way. I've got cracks in the back. So yeah, it's starting to show a little bit of its age. But
Well, at the very least,
you can hold out.
You can give it some more time, and either the new model comes out or the OLED becomes more possible to buy.
Yeah.
Either option would probably be good. Although, if there is a new Switch, that thing's going to be gone instantly, too. Like, if there's one with increased performance, I feel like that is going to vanish.
You just got to do the Best Buy strat that I talked about on this show. The night before Dread and the Amiibo and the OLED came out, I could have ordered an OLED. Because it goes up. They go up on Best Buy at like 10:30 the night before they come out.
Just dishing out these secrets.
Strategy.
Soon it ain't going to work anymore.
To our massive audience.
Yep.
But that's the OLED. I would like to see one in person. I do want to see that screen. But there's no demo units. Not a thing.
It'd be nice to see it for yourself, since it is the biggest selling point. Is how much better that screen is if you already own a Switch.
I saw someone on Facebook Marketplace selling just the white Joy-Con for like $300. Like, oh my god.
Yo, these are gonna drift possibly 2 weeks after you buy them. $300.
I will say, Nintendo said that the Joy-Cons have just gotten better over time, and I think that's true. The most recent set I bought, I use them the most, and I've never had any problems. So maybe it's just me, but that's anecdotal. But I do feel like they've gotten better.
But hope that they've been working on a solution gradually over time.
Yeah.
It's not just the
Not
same
just letting it go
controller
to the
since
wayside. Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. And then the other Nintendo story we have is that Animal Crossing 2.0 is out now. It's 2 days before it was supposed to be out. It dropped on Wednesday night. It wasn't supposed to come out till Friday. So the DLC, the Happy Home Paradise, is not out yet, but the 2.0, so Brewster and the Gyroids and what else is in there? The Ordinances.
Farming.
What else is in that? The farming, yeah, and the cooking. Yep, so that's all out. Are we going to play that and talk about it next week?
Possibly. Yeah.
Zach?
I finished my
I'm
game,
planning
so
on it.
I've got some time with some new games to fill that void until Diamond and Pearl come out.
Pokemon?
Yep.
You guys still committed to Pokemon on launch day?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pre-order my copy. Pre-order mine from the Pokemon Center because they're giving away an art book with it.
Which version did you go with?
I actually swapped over to Diamond.
Let's
You
go.
coward. Go for life.
Yeah, looking at that, looking at the Pokedex, I'm like, man, because after Platinum came out, if I was ever gonna go back to Sinnoh, it was always Platinum, and Platinum had a much better Pokedex than either Diamond and Pearl did, so it didn't really matter. But like going back and seeing like Stunky and Skuntank on Diamond instead of Glameow and
Ugly.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Granados is a much better pick to me than Shieldon is.
I love
the
Shieldon.
fossils. I would much rather go with Granados than Shieldon. I don't know. There was just the small things. Yeah, going with Diamond. But that means that I have Diamond, you have Pearl, and we can swap.
I'll take a Craniados if you got one.
Yeah, I'll take the Shieldon. But yeah, I'm still committed on that for day one.
Nice.
I'll be there one
That's
more time
soon.
for Pokemon. Yeah.
2 weeks?
Couple of weeks. 19th? It's either the 19th and 17th.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
19th.
Yep.
19.
It's soon.
Man, so many games. We're through all the big releases. I guess I am playing Horizon 5 this week, but I don't have to pay for it.
On Game Pass.
Yeah, but that Animal Crossing update is out. And I think that's it for our news this week.
You don't want to talk about GTA selling 155 million units?
Not really. Do you?
Oh my
you want to talk
God.
about GTA 5?
No, I just think it's crazy. That number.
Talk about GTA 5.
Every time there's a new number on GTA 5's sales, it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I
How
know
many
it's been
times
out for
have you
so
bought
long,
it?
but like
I've bought it.
bought it twice. 360 PS4.
I've bought it PS3, PS4.
Okay, I just bought it once.
Did not buy the PC.
So we account for
version.
5.
I got a
5 of
free
155
copy for the
games.
Xbox
Yeah.
360.
Okay.
Like, it's just like obviously this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is only on one console, but it's like, oh man, that sold like 38 million. That's crazy. GTA 5's over here with 155 million. It's like,
Yeah.
woo, crazy, and that's why
It is crazy.
It's been a decade or almost a decade in between games.
I honestly don't really get it. I don't get why it's that popular.
Played the online multiplayer together. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, but it's not like the greatest thing you've ever played. You need to play this. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just maybe this type of game has become more common since it came out. But to me, it's just like, yeah, it's an open world game. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's true. I mean, I
mean-
grew up with the franchise.
Yeah, I think it's got brand recognition. Everybody knows Grand Theft Auto or GTA. And I do think that in terms of like open world games, it's still, despite the fact that that thing came out in 2013, I know it's gotten some improvements over the years, but I still think that's one of the better open worlds that's been created, at least to that size and scale. But yeah, 155 million is wild.
Not as good as No More Heroes 3's open world. That was the best
It's
open world
empty.
I've ever
Yeah.
experienced.
Hard to look at.
What is your guys' favorite open world game? Have we ever talked about that?
No, what are we saving that for a future? I don't know. Man.
I want
I'd have to
gut.
think
I want
about
gut
it.
picks. We can save it for an ode too. What's your gut?
I really like Arkham City in Batman Arkham City.
Is that an open world?
It's pretty large.
Okay.
I'd probably go Stillwater Saints Row 2 would be my favorite.
Yep.
Probably
Try
GTA 5.
5
behind that. I think. That'd be interesting.
Congress,
I'd have to
I
look
like,
at
yeah.
look at the games and see if there's anything that would beat that. That'd be my gut pick. Yeah, those.
Okay. Mine is probably Tsushima. It's probably my favorite. I think.
It's got a pretty great open world.
And Zelda. And I don't know. I like New York in Spider-Man.
The building swinging.
Yeah, it's pretty
Really
fun.
time.
I have to think
The
about that.
Seattle area in Last of Us Part 2. Does
more.
that count?
Was that is that open world?
No.
That's
Open
an
world.
open area.
Yeah.
Open world, Infamous. That's in Seattle. Even though,
That's true.
yeah,
Kind of.
yeah, doesn't really feel like it all the time. But what are you gonna do?
Far Cry 5. Okay, that's it for news this week.
That'll do it for everything we've got in the news this week. Bit of a slower week, but that's to be understandable after the big week we had last week. So we'll move on to stuff we've been playing other than new Mario Party. We'll start with Kevin. Judgment updates.
It's done. The main campaign
Finished.
is finished. There's a lot still left to do, of course. I was like 30% completed, I think, because it gives you the stats at the end of your playthrough, and there's like a lot of
You
school
usually come in
stories.
pretty high, don't you?
I usually
at
come
the
in
end of these
like the
games?
50s or 60s.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
One didn't do it for you in terms of side content?
No, I'd like to go back and
Or is there just that much stuff to
and do it afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like with the previous games, you had the side cases, and they were pretty easy to just do as you're going along. But since there's so many of the school stories, it can feel like, it's like a whole separate game in there. Like there's so many different. There's 10 clubs, and they've all got their own stories and things. So at a certain point, I was just like, I'll just finish the main story, do that, and then I know that I'll go back and at least do some more of the school cases. So, yeah, I'll definitely go back and try some of the stuff out. I still haven't gotten to like the motorcycle racing and all this other stuff because that's apparently part of the school. So there's a lot of stuff that I haven't experienced yet with the side content that I do want to. So I'm sure it'll be like.
I need your updated ranking.
Updated ranking.
Where does it slot in? Probably based on what I've heard, somewhere below the first Judgment.
It's below. So man, I gotta remember what. Let me
You
Let me
have
pull
like
up my
tiers.
list.
I
I
remember
do
you
have
used to
Above
see it like different tiers.
Yakuza
I'm gonna pull up my
5.
list.
Okay.
Because I do
Probably
have
not.
the list written out.
While you're pulling up your list, I
Got
will
my list
say,
here.
Zach, is The Witcher 3 not your favorite open world game?
Ooh.
I mentioned it briefly.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I did say Witcher 3, but yeah, it's got a pretty great open world. It's a very gorgeous traditional fantasy open world, which I definitely dig the aesthetic of. So yeah, that definitely came across my mind.
So yeah, my original list was 0, Kiwami 2, Like a Dragon, Judgment, 6, 5, 4, 3, Kiwami, and then spin-offs after that. Ooh. I'd probably put it around 5-4 area. So I think I put it in the middle tier. Because I think
Yeah.
my high tier would be 0, Kiwami 2, Like a Dragon, Judgment. 6 kind of toes the line. I think it'd probably drop into the second slot. But it's up there on the higher end. Yeah. Either between 6 and 5 and 5 and 4 at this point.
Okay.
I have to think about it more. I only beat it a
I
couple
put
days
4
ago.
above 5 because for some reason I very much enjoyed 4.
I think I put
Just
5
really
above
like
4
4.
because it was the first Yakuza game I ever played. So
Yeah.
there's some nostalgia there.
GTA in Japan.
That's what it was built
Best way
as,
to
yeah.
describe it. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. The side content, of course, is very good. It was very nice to go back to the main original style of brawler combat. I was using more of the different styles, mainly Tiger and Crane. Snake, I don't know if I had too many uses for it, but there are points near the end of the game where Crane really comes in handy, where there's like big groups of dudes and you need something that can take out a bunch of people at once, and Crane comes in very handy for that. Snake, not too much of a point there, at least for me. But I enjoyed going back to the combat. The world was always fun to explore. I think Yokohama had way more going on than Kamurocho in this game, but they're still always fun to romp around in. I think it's the main story that kind of falters a little bit, and not to say that it's like really bad or anything, but I don't know. I was just thinking back to the first Judgment, and I think it's the surprises and those moments that catch you off guard, or where it doesn't show you everything at once. It slowly feeds you things, and you slowly start to get a bigger picture. And then when it does decide to throw out a big reveal, it's way more impactful, and you're like, oh my god, like that's crazy. Whereas with Lost Judgment, I felt like halfway through, you had already figured out what was going to happen. Like there was like once there were some key things that were figured out, maybe around the halfway 60% point, like that was it. Like there was no other big reveal, and I think that it made the last bit not as impactful because you had seen where it was going to be ending up for quite some time. The last 2 fights were really cool. I thought they were still super hype, as most final Yakuza bosses are, or Judgment bosses. But I felt like the story kind of lacked that impact. That, like, looking at Judgment as a series now, since it's 2 games, looking at that first game and looking at Lost Judgment, it really does lack some of the impact in the latter stages of the game, because a lot of the big story beats happen in the first half, and then in the second half, you're just waiting for things to be resolved. So,
Oof. Sounds like kind of a drag.
I don't know if I'd call it a drag per se. I think it just doesn't have as much of an impact. And then there are some. I don't really want to get into spoilers too much. If we ever do a spoiler cast, I'll talk about it more. But there are certain characters in relation to the story that I'm gonna leave that for now, because that kind of it spoils things. But the way certain things were handled and characters' motivations for things got a little weird at the end, where I don't know. I'd have to talk about it once, if we ever did a spoiler cast, or at the very least with people that have finished the game, because that is it's a big part of the story. But yeah, I don't know. I still love the characters. I think the cast of characters of the Judgment world is great. I love Yagami. I love Kaito. I love the supporting cast. Yeah, I think everything else surrounding the main story is as good as the Yakuza / Judgment series has been. And I think that the main story kind of falters a little bit, which is disappointing, because the first one was so good.
Did it set up a third game? Is it
No.
a neat bow? Okay. So
It
just
did,
in case
although
the series ends here, it'll be.
Did the original Judgment really do that either?
It didn't really set anything up.
No.
It left it open for one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, knowing what we know now with the whole debacle around if there's going to be another one or not, like, that changes things. But it's not like it hinted at another. It's kind of weird, because at the end of the game, there are things that it kind of hints at things happening after the main story ends. But in terms of Yagami's involvement in those events, I have a hard time seeing it. So I don't know if it actually sets up another game as much as it's like some things are going to happen after the main story, and you can take it for what it is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I'd still recommend it. I think it's still a really good time, even if the main story isn't as up to snuff as previous games. I think that it still very much holds its own with its combat, its side content, with the worlds to explore. I'd still give it a high recommendation, along with
I gotta get back on
most
it.
of the other games in the franchise, of course.
You gotta hop into it.
Yeah, you guys still got to play it.
Well, Kevin, if you like twists and turns to the very end, then boy, am I glad that you got 2 weeks to play Greatest Attorney 2 until Pokemon comes
I
out.
don't think I'm doing that in between. I don't think I can commit to finishing that game before.
Oh, you're not starting it yet?
I kind of want it to be the only
Dude.
thing.
You got to finish it before the end of the year so we can talk about it on the Odies.
Oh man, that's gonna be. I feel like I could plow through Diamond though.
When I put 200 hours into Pearl, I just know it.
But yeah, last thoughts on Lost Judgment. Story isn't as good as it could be, but I think everything else that makes it a complete game package is well enough worth your time to go see it through. There's still a lot of fun to be had, and the story is by no means bad. It just doesn't reach the heights of the original game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then more Stardew Valley, of course.
Obviously.
Always.
Keep on playing that. I'll be playing that until Hot Chocolatier comes out. Yeah.
Anything new on that end, or just more of the same?
More of the same, yeah, because I'm doing another single player run since it's kind of hard to play with friends from back home with the time difference. So it's still early game again on this save, but eventually I'll get to some of the later update content, but a little ways from that.
Awesome. All right, Logan, anything other than Mario Party? I know you've got 1,000 games that you're currently in the middle of.
Oh, I just realized I skipped the Haunted Chocolatier news. I didn't mean. Kevin,
That's
you
fine.
said there's
News.
some new combat options.
Yeah, so he was just talking about how there's shields in this game now. There was kind of like a parry option in Stardew Valley, but I never really used it. I was always just going full on swinging, but it sounds like with this combat, he's trying to give you more options just beyond the kind of one note thing that Stardew Valley's combat was, with, shields and stunning enemies and then going in for the kill. He was like, yeah, you can do that. You can do more guns blazing, just going in for it. And it just sounds like the combat is going to be a lot more open-ended. I think he was just talking about what was shown off in that initial trailer. I'm sure that there's more stuff that he hasn't shown off yet with the combat, but nice to know that it isn't just copy-paste with Stardew, that it's more.
Yeah, that's cool.
More content that he wants to add on the combat side. Yeah.
Sweet.
So Logan, you've been playing anything else?
Yeah, not much. I've been kind of in a hole since I finished Metroid, honestly. Haven't been able to get into anything too heavy single player lately. And also watching a lot more like shows than I usually do. So it's been cutting.
It comes in waves,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching Squid Game right now.
I am also.
It's fine. I'm not in love with it, honestly.
What episode are you on?
5.
Okay, you're further than me.
Yeah. I watched Midnight Mass, which is excellent. Show's amazing. It's
No idea what that is.
horror show. It's a horror show.
Or
Yeah, it's very Halloweeny, so
Okay.
maybe the time has passed. But
Yeah.
it's horror and religion. It's super interesting. It's really good. But anyways, I have been playing F-Zero. I've been playing F-Zero X on my Wii U, and then I recently just got a CRT TV, so I plugged in my GameCube to that, and I've been playing F-Zero GX just to see if I could note. I got a CRT from a friend who had 3 and only wanted 2. So yeah, I just hooked it up, and the difference is extremely noticeable. It looks way nicer than stretched on my big HD TV, and you can notice the faster response time. So yeah, I've been playing F-Zero GX, and I've been able to complete some story missions that I was totally stuck on because the story is brutal.
I've heard.
So I've been playing a lot of that. Yeah, that's super fun, and it just makes me want the F-Zero Yakuza crossover that I've been clamoring for a long time.
That'd be
Which would
cool.
be so
Although Nagoshi's not there anymore.
No, it's
The
yeah.
the tie to those two series is not
the Tide
there.
F-Zero is gone. Oh no. And then I've been playing Smash 64. I went and unlocked Ness, who I had never unlocked before, and he's super cool. And that's it. Just old Smash games. I've been spending a lot of time with a lot of the old ones, I think. I mentioned it last week, and yeah, I've looked through everything 64 and Melee have to offer. And then I stopped doing it when I realized that Brawl was next. I don't want because I don't like it. Yeah, that's it for me. Lighter week. I played like 14 hours of Mario Party.
It takes up some time. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been most of my free time.
Yep. And as for me, I've also had a bit of a lighter week, still in a bit of a slump since beating the Ace Attorney trilogy. Judgment is up next. I gotta beat it before Pokemon comes out. I know I can do it. I'm gonna blast through it in like a week. It'll be beautiful.
And then it can be part of your end of the year games list.
Will be. It absolutely will be. It won't. Last year when I played Like a Dragon, that had crossed into the new year. It was like the thing I was playing at the turn of the year. So I got to get this one in before the end of the year, which I believe I can do. In anticipation for the lot of time I predict I'll be putting into Shining Pearl. So look forward to that spoiler cast once we all finish that. Probably beat it before Logan, which is fine.
Probably.
And then, yep. And also Apollo Justice, which I kind of just want to dive right into after finishing the trilogy. Nice. Logan recommended that I just buy the 3DS remaster digitally on my 3DS because I was just going to borrow the physical from him, but apparently the original DS version looks worse than the 3DS remaster, which I didn't know existed. All right. So I might hop into that before the end of the year as well.
Yeah, 3DS one looks nice.
I don't know what it looks like, and I don't really know anything about it, but I want to play it. That's all I know. But stuff that I actually have been playing this week, I was in the mood for a gaming challenge. I occasionally get struck with the need to bash my head against the wall, like when I played Uncharted 4 on Crushing, or The Last of Us on Grounded. I like those difficult campaigns, like when I tried Witcher 3 on Death March, which I never finished and probably couldn't. Well. I got stuck, but then I got through it, and I just stopped, and now I'm not good enough to go back to where I was. So I'd have to start over, and now I still haven't played the DLC. So that game's a mess.
Are you just going to be waiting until the next gen version comes out? Would that be the time?
Yes, I think so, because I'd love to replay the game not on Death March, and when I do, I would love to play the DLC that everybody loves. So I'm sure it'll look great on PS5, but that's still a ways off, and hopefully not completely broken. They do port it over. My friend recommended that Halo 2 Legendary Mode was one of the biggest gaming challenges he had ever heard of. So I bit the bullet and reinstalled the Master Chief Trilogy.
Just took up the entirety of your Series S space.
Oh, my Series S is now full again. I mean, it's jam-packed. I've got it back, and I only wanted Halo 2, so I now have a bunch of wasted space on the rest of the Halo games. We started Halo 2 on Legendary Mode, co-op campaign, just me and him. So usually when we originally played it, we would get through each level in about like 15 to 30 minutes per level. Got through 3 levels in just over 5 hours, and that's because we skipped most of the second level using a rooftop hack where you could just hop along rooftops.
Yeah.
So we skipped most of a level, and it still almost took 6 hours to get through 3 levels because it's harder than I imagined. Enemies, you really have to coordinate with your teammate to focus fire on because once their shields are down, you're probably reloading, and by the time you're done reloading, their shields are back up, and then it's just an endless cycle. And most enemies can physically one-shot you, like if they melee you, and you can't come out of cover for more than like 2 seconds, or else you get blown away by bullets. It's insane. There's also skull challenges where you can turn on like extra like lower health stuff like that.
Yeah.
And apparently there's people who play legendary difficulty with all skulls on, which is like the hardest thing I could even imagine a game to be.
Oh my gosh.
I could not do that because we can barely. I didn't think we would. We got stuck on the first level for like an hour, and I was like, we can't do this. We just can't do it. And then we got past it, and it's been a slow trudge since. But I think I've gotten to the point where I think we can do it. Like I got past that mental wall of like, this is impossible. So maybe because I got to that point in Uncharted 4 as well, and Kevin saw in person when I got to that point of, I don't know if I can get past this one certain spot.
It's just playing the exact same like 10 seconds over and over and over.
A week.
Got to get down to the beach.
Exactly.
Never.
That level has mentally scarred me. But I've pushed past that. I just didn't expect it to happen so soon in the first level. So we'll see if we can finish it. I've got hope. I was just in the mood for a bit of a gaming challenge. Sometimes it just strikes me like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I played this week. Like I said, I've still been coming off the high of the Ace Attorney trilogy, which I absolutely loved. And but I did just get my physical limited run game of To the Moon, which I complained about not having last week.
I'm still waiting on mine.
That's a pretty quick turnaround of complaining, and then a week later it's actually here. So that was impressive.
That was last week.
I know, right? Or was that 2 weeks ago? I don't remember. But I was complaining about it on the show not too long ago. Yeah. I've got the little stuffed platypus on top of my shelf now. He's tiny. He's very adorable though. That's exciting. I'm thinking about replaying To the Moon, which is just a one sitting like 3 hour kind of thing. But now that I got it physically, I think it's time for a replay. Even though I've played that game a few times.
I still need to play Imposter Factory.
Also a one sitting kind of game.
Yeah.
And a good time. And it was $10. I double checked. So very, very nice. And it comes with like a customizable, like, there's this mode where you can just create your own story, where you can make like
an RPG
your own visual
thing?
novel. It's like a visual novel maker where that has a bunch of assets from To the Moon, Finding Paradise, Bird Story, all that stuff. And you can just like make cute little stories with its little visual novel maker, which I think is a neat little addition that just comes with the game.
That's fun.
That's weird because they were made in RPG Maker.
Yeah, it's
I know, yeah.
Game Maker in the Game Maker.
But that'll do it for me.
When you go see the Uncharted movie, you're gonna have some like war flashbacks. If they're like, got to get to the beach.
There's a beach anywhere in that movie.
Into the boat.
Oh, that's another thing too. I rewatched the Uncharted fan film, and it holds up. I've seen that thing so many times. It's like
it's
15
so
minutes,
good.
but it's so good. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me hope for the movie.
Yeah, what is that movie gonna be? Oh. But I'll go see it. I'll go see it and be like, that's not Sully. That's not Nate.
Never again. Yep.
Apparently. It's not right. This is Mark Wahlberg. This isn't Sully. All right. Well, I think we've been going on a little long. We had an Ode 2 planned for this week, but I think we're going to save that for another week. We've been going on long enough here. Any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap up this week's show?
I bought a Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah, you did.
First time in my life. I now own a Nintendo 64 and a few games. And I got it for a really good deal because I bought it from best friend. So he gave me the best friend discount, which was not free, but it's understandable given what he sold me. Because I also got a GameCube controller out of it, and he just gave me a GameCube for free. So now I'm swimming in old Nintendo consoles.
Have you booted it up yet, or are you saving that for now?
I did boot it up briefly. I didn't dive super into it, but I did get Mega Man 64, which I'm looking forward to because I started wanting to play a Mega Man game out of nowhere not too long ago, so now I think this is a good opportunity. And now I never need to buy the Nintendo Switch Online 64
Unless you want to buy more games than the couple that you've got, because those things get
That's
expensive
true.
sometimes.
One of them is like NFL quarterback something,
Oh, yeah.
98, which is like worth $2. So never know.
It's still crazy to me, like being over here and seeing like the difference in game prices. Like,
It's probably crazy.
yeah, like if you're buying N64 games back home, it's like cartridge or you're paying your entire life savings for a complete in-box copy. And I've seen a complete in-box copy of like Paper Mario for like $18. Just
Wow.
in the store. Smash was like 25.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. And if you're buying cart only, it's like $5.
I just bought an N64 game.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you get?
In honor of my CRT TV, I'm getting a physical copy of F-Zero.
Oh, that's
Gonna
cool.
play on my 64.
How much does that?
Much was
set you
that?
back?
Just the
Yeah.
cart. Just the cart. I found the cart for 25.
That's not too bad.
I've noticed a lot
In-box
of
is like
them are 25.
180.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
like-
yeah.
Because everybody just be
It's just
throwing
not-
those boxes away.
Yeah. Yep. I really wish I could get it in box, but it's just way too much to justify. But yeah,
Think-
25 for the cart, not bad.
Next one on my list is Diddy Kong Racing. That's the one I want the
Seems so
most.
Nice. Well, but just everyone just be playing N64. I
December.
can crack out my Japanese N64.
Nice.
All right. That is going to do it for us on this week's episode of Oda Games. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any other podcast streaming services that you may use. OdaGames.com also has the audio version of the podcast. The video version is up on YouTube at Oda Games, so you can check that out there. We're on Twitter at Oda Games. You can send an email to odagamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.